I don't know if there's a better combination than beef, butter, and garlic. And when you bring them together in steak bites and do it right, it wins every time. I'm going to be using a few classical chef techniques for a perfect brown sear on the outside, tender in the center, and finished with a simple garlic butter sauce that would go amazing on just about anything. And we might even put together a couple easy sides. But first, let's talk steak. Sound good? Let's cook. I'm going to be using 2 rib steaks that weigh about 1¼ pounds each. However, this recipe can absolutely be tailored to your liking. Filet mignon, top sirloin, New York strip, you be the judge and make this recipe work for you so you can make it. Now to maximize flavor and juiciness, I'm going to dry brine them, but first pat them dry on both sides with a paper towel. Next, I'm just going to transfer them over to a rack on a sheet tray, and yeah, these are bone-in. They just happen to be a bit cheaper, and I'll remove them when it comes time. For now though, this should just help keep moisture retention in during this process. Now season the steak well on both sides with salt, and you'll probably end up using about 1½ to 2 teaspoons-ish of salt per steak. Remember, these are pretty big. And what I usually do is set the rack to the side and mop up any of the salt on the sides that maybe missed the steak. Alright, they're going in the fridge uncovered for 2 to 24 hours, and yes, for sure, you can just cube these, season everything up, and cook right away. But dry brining is going to ensure every bite is seasoned, and that outer surface will form that pellicle to form the perfect maillard when it comes to searing. You know what's funny? I just had this conversation with my good buddy Tony the other day, and he's telling me about how he dry brined this food and injected it just to get ready for his wife's birthday party. And he had this epiphany. He's like, man, I'm starting to kind of recognize that if I just spend a little bit more time on food, like how much better it is. And I'm like, dude, you are absolutely starting to get it, and I could not agree more. Alright, when you're ready to cook these, just take them out of the fridge. I just want to take the chill off them, and you'll notice a shiny like film on the outside. If you're unfamiliar, this is that pellicle I was talking about. It's a good thing, and it'll help get these super browned up. At this stage, I'm going to set them to the side and knock out some prep, beginning with 10 garlic cloves. And yeah, these are on the bigger side of things, so feel free to adjust them out. I promise you can pull this one off. After finely mincing, just set them to the side. Next, I want to small dice a half of a shallot, and yeah, for some reason, this one's on the bigger side as well. And hey, it's okay if yours is bigger or smaller. This recipe is incredibly forgiving. So because I want to hit this recipe with a little bit more, this is optional, I'm just going to roughly crack about 2 teaspoons of peppercorns using the bottom side of a skillet. This is what will add those peppery flavors to the beef and make this sauce seriously so good. I'm going to finely mince about 10 to 12 fresh thyme sprigs, and as long as the stems are tender, like I always say, they're absolutely good to use. And you should get around 2 teaspoons minced. And the same goes with parsley. I always use the stems, and you'll need about 1½ to 2 tablespoons minced when it's all said and done. Alright, the mise is done, but first, don't want to forget about the butter. I just want everything prepped up, so I'm just going to cut down 1 stick of unsalted butter. Now, let's finish up the steak and get cooking. I'm going to remove this bone, which ends up weighing about 2 to 3 ounces or so, and I should have about 2 to 2¼ pounds of meat when it's all finished and ready to roll. All I want out of these is 1-inch cubes, but you can definitely feel free to go a bit bigger if you'd like, up to you. Now, let's cook. In an extra large cast iron or carbon steel pan, I'm going to crank the heat up to high and get this pan smoking hot. I'll be cooking everything in 2 to 3 tablespoons of beef tallow. I just like it better, but you can feel free to use any high smoke point oil. Now once it does begin smoking, it's time to sear. I'm going to carefully add in the beef cubes and give them some space in between one another to get a really good sear on them. I'm not trying to steam anything, and yes, I plan to do this in 2 batches. After about 90 to 120 seconds is when I'm going to flip over, and yes, this is the brown you're looking for. This is going to be so good. Dry brining, uncovered, works every single time. It is foolproof, and little techniques like this always make meals worth remembering. When the flip side is cooked for another 90 to 120 seconds is when I give them a quick saute for an additional minute or so. I just want to help gently brown up the other sides I didn't get to. And I usually set them to the side on a rack just to cool them down so they don't overcook. 118 degrees F, perfect for me. Then just a quick repeat of the rest of the beef. And while there isn't some crazy long history of these, they started to show up on Steakhouse bar menus back in the 80s and 90s. And being a restaurant guy around that time, my guess is that they made these up because of leftover beef scraps when trimming and cutting beef. It's a great way to use up everything in a restaurant, and now we can make them even better at home. Okay, the beef is done. Now is when we make that sauce. You're gonna love this. Let's turn the heat down to low, and just for precaution, I'm gonna remove the pan because, well, I'm gonna add in about a quarter cup of cognac. If you don't drink, swap it with a little beef stock, no problem. It's going to release some of that fond and give us a really tasty base for everything I'm about to throw in. And you guys, the smells coming off of this are ridiculous. I can't wait till you try it. And after a few minutes, there should be a few tablespoons remaining, and at this point, I'm going to add in those shallots. Give them a gentle season of salt, and hey, these are going to cook super quick, so keep an eye on them.
Once they are lightly brown is when I add in the garlic, and then the peppercorns.
And since the heat is on low and the pan has been deglazed, there's no more worrying of anything burning. So just as soon as the garlic is fragrant, it's done. So now we're going to mount the sauce with all the butter and mix it in until it is completely melted. And hey, the butter just happens to toast up a little bit, even better, because now you've got brown butter. To finish this off, how about some clean acid with some lemon juice and salt? And of course, try it out. Wow, this stuff is good right here. Let's add back in the beef, coat everything up in that garlicky butter goodness. Try not to eat all of it, we're not quite done. And now is when I usually like to add in that parsley for a punch of green. All right, let's wrap everything up. But first,
And I know I promised some side dishes, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This is the beauty of making video, because I can put things where they need to be in order to properly tell the story. So if I was gonna make these side dishes, I would do it right in between that garlic steak bite prep and actually cooking the garlic steak bites. But you're gonna love these no matter what.
these mustardy potatoes, they may be your new favorite. But first, I've got about 3 pounds of baby Yukons that I'm gonna slice in half. Let's sear them up. In a large carbon steel pan, I'm going to add in enough avocado oil just to coat the bottom. Then the heat goes up to high. Once it's smoking like this, add in the potatoes, give them a little spread out, and then don't you touch a thing for 3 to 4 minutes. Come back and give everything a flip, and you should start to see some things browning up really nicely. After that first initial toss, I'll come back every 2 minutes or so and give everything a flip and a shake 2 or 3 more times. At this point, give the potatoes a nice season of salt and pepper. And I usually like to finish them off on a middle rack in the oven at 450 degrees F for about 8 to 10 minutes. That's all they need. When they're done, they look great, and you are going to really dig these. I'm going to finish these off in 3 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter, and for probably one of my favorite ingredients, 2 to 3 tablespoons of whole grain mustard. I could seriously eat this by itself. I love it that much. Just ask the camera guy. If you don't have whole grain, swap it for Dijon, no problem. And while I have a spoonful, I'll just add it to the pan as well, because why not? Last but not least, some thinly sliced chives, and mix all of that tastiness in. Now, if you don't know, mustard and steak go really well together. So yeah, these and our steak bites are going to be insanely good. And we're almost ready to eat everything. But first, I said a couple side dishes. So one more quick one. I'm going to carefully trim 4 to 6 small heads of broccoli into individual florets. Not too big, not too small. Now, if you've ever wondered what to do with these stems, be sure to check out my shorts video for a killer easy to make soup. Okay, so for those florets, add them to a sheet tray lined with parchment paper, and just drizzle on a few tablespoons of olive oil. Season it all up with salt and pepper, then give them a quick toss. Spread them out as best you can, and then they're going on a middle rack in the oven at 450 degrees F for 15 minutes. That's it. Now let's have a look. Perfection right there. Love that little brown on there. Now this is optional, but feel free to add on a little bit of lemon juice and some freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano. I absolutely love this broccoli, and so does my family. It's just good, and it's so easy to make. Now let's plate up our steak. Whatever you decide to serve this in, just stack it high, and I'm going to make sure that all that sauce is covering everything. Now for another little chef tip, how about a good season of molten salt? And why not a bit more parsley? This right here, I'm ready. Let's go.
And now for probably one of my favorite ways to finish off a meal like this. A little something sweet, classic pound cake. So simple, so good. I'll see you over there. Bro, it's ribeye, there's garlic, there's butter. Oh, dude, I just don't want to leave. It's so good. So good.